Can you tell us about what's the current deal look like?
So the current deal is with a JV of mine.
Mm-hmm. Can you share where you found the JV?
He's a friend of mine.
Okay.
Not associated with my first property. He reached out to me probably springtime, I'd say, and just wanted to meet up, have a coffee, see what I can do, or find out what I'm doing and what I can do for him and how he can invest his money.
Right. Wait. Was this a social call to start with, or did he know what you were up to?
No, he knew what I was up to. We've talked about real estate. I've been a friend of his for a long time. He just didn't know like the ins and outs of, doing a joint venture partner or how it's structured or how the burst strategy is done. So he really wanted to be, instead of like in a friend setting or a social setting, he wanted to just be like a one-on-one.
Right.
We finally sat down and he was already prepared, which was fantastic. Like he had already, taken out a HELOC and ready to invest. So I knew he was serious. He just wanted to increase his financial future and make his financial future better for him and his kids, right, and his family. So that's one part of why I love doing JVs, is really sharing that with a partner, and their families.
All right, hang on a second. So JV partners don't land in your lap already being prepped to go.
Yeah, that was crazy.
How did he?
Well, I guess, yeah. He's smart. He's been a homeowner for a long time. He gets the concept of real estate investing. He knew that he's getting his funds from his home equity line of credit.
Who taught him that?
Probably, I don't know. I'd like to say me at some point.
Right. So I'm guessing there are a bunch of conversations that led to this meeting.
A
couple?
Yeah, there was a party that I attended that he was there, and he's like, "Hey, what's going on? I see what you're doing on Instagram. Like, how's that going?" And I was doing my first duplex at the time, and he's like, "How you doing this?" And I kind of just gave him, a quick overview, and we kind of discussed it a bit more throughout the party, and then eventually it just led up to him, giving me a shout and saying, let's have a one-on-one, see what if we can make this happen. So, and we did. So we're just finishing. We're at like the flooring stage right now.
Okay, so sorry. Tell me about this duplex, the one you're finishing off. You're at the flooring stage. Where is it?
It's on the Hamilton Mountains at like Upper Gauge and the Link.
But you also bought something out of your home area. Like you had to leave town for this investment.
Yeah, I mean it's within an hour, so I'm super comfortable with that. I figured if I can travel 45 minutes to work, I can travel to Hamilton to take care of investments.
Was this a bidding war to get?
No, surprisingly enough, it wasn't. It didn't sell on offer date. Not sure why. And then Tammy brought it to me, and we snuck in, and I think it was the day after offers, and we picked it up.
Maybe the email servers were down or something.
Maybe. COVID.
Wait, sorry. Oh, right. This is in COVID. What month was this?
Oh, I think we signed a deal in May. We took possession in June.
So May this year, June this year.
Yeah.
Right.
But I did close on my first duplex, which is I purchased on my own. We took possession March 25th of last year. It was like the week we all went into lockdown.
Oh.
So that was scary. Didn't even know how we were going to sign papers with the lawyer. We ended up doing it over Zoom. And I think that was the first time I ever used Zoom. Was signing documents with a lawyer.
Not the last.
Lawyer courier. It was just looking back, it was just like how quickly people pivoted.
Yeah.
Because we were like, are we going to even close on this house? Because it was like, I think the 25th was a Friday, and that week everything shut down.
Yeah.
So our lawyer, we did a Zoom call. She went over everything, and then had all the paperwork couriered. We signed it and sent it back.
Right.
And then we closed, and then it was still I was still worried because I didn't know about our contractors, because we had contractors line up
Yeah.
to start doing work.
If they're even allowed to work.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, so what's going to happen here? My wife's freaking out, telling me to sell the place. I'm like, well, yeah. So that was, it was pretty interesting, but everything went according to plan, except for some reason, getting Electra out there to do the 2 meters was, they didn't want to do it during COVID. But meanwhile, I never understood that, because they didn't need to step inside the house. I mean, some contractors just wanted to be there alone when they were working, which is totally understandable.
Yeah, we didn't know what was going on.
No, and then, there was a couple of exterior things that I did with pressure treated wood that, that was like right in the middle of the first shortage of pressure treated products.
Aren't you glad that's over? You get you get this done before.
Yeah. So that was like, that was last year. So that was in the summer, but I think that was more just not shortage of wood. I think it was just people were building stuff because they had nothing else to do. So it was harder to find wood, certain sizes. But overall, considering we took possession of it the first week of COVID and the lockdowns, it was good. It worked out.
So wait, when did you buy it? You still bought it in COVID, right?
I think we had a long closing for that one. I think we signed the deal. Had to be somewhere in January, February.
Oh, early. Oh, before we really knew.
Before COVID. Yeah, and then we closed the week of.
Oh, this is lovely.
Yeah, I remember. It was the week before was. I think it was March break, because I was off for 2 weeks, or after it, I think, something like that. I forget now.
And did you keep a level head during this? You bought.
I did. Well, there was no. You got to go through with it. You got to go through with it. Like, what are you gonna do? You can't. I was gonna sell it for what? Like, for a loss? I'm gonna pay realtor fees. Like, I would have taken a huge loss. So might as well put myself in debt to keep it than put myself in debt and not have it. So it just made sense.
I can't imagine this felt good at the time.
No, it was scary. Like I said, I think the scariest part was how we're gonna close, because I was still gonna go. Like, I still wanted to go through with it. I didn't see contractors not working, because when they stop, they don't get paid, right? Yeah, and it worked out. So
it was just bonkers early on, because remember the whole like stay at home thing, so we could keep the roads open for emergency vehicles. Like,
yeah.
I know it's hindsight.
There was not to get political. There's just been a lot of decisions where you're just like, who thought of this?
Yeah. Where was the urgency when Wuhan was locked down? Where was our urgency?
Yeah.
The urgency came like 2 months, 3 months late.
Yeah, like how many people traveled since then?
Yeah, and how long did the borders stay open?
Yeah.
We're not.
It's a real estate podcast.
I remember around that same time, like Marchish, a friend of mine posted pictures, same situation, courier documents. And he had like gloves on, and he had like scissors, and then he like sterilized them, and then like he used the pen and threw the pen in the garbage after signing the documents.
Like receiving a delivered pizza was like, people were saying, put it in the oven for a little bit, disinfect it.
Leave your groceries in your car for a day.
Leave your Amazon box outside for a couple more days. I mean, it was scary at first. It was scary at first.
But the real estate transactions, because I still have to go in person. My last 2 transactions had to go in person to sign for everything.
Yeah, I went for that one. We went in person to the bank, and I went in person. So shortly after that, I refinanced my personal residence, and we were sitting at a boardroom table like 10 foot long, and the lady there had huge piece of plexiglass in front of her, and she had her mask on, and then she would walk around the table to come give us the paperwork, and I'm just like, what's the point of this if you're just gonna walk over here and hang out with us? Yeah.
That was by law. Yeah. Sorry. So, do you remember what you had the offer accepted for? January 2020.
480.
Was that at bidding war? I'm guessing not.
No, what happened there? It was a property that I kept seeing on MLS, and I just told Tammy one day, I'm like, let's check this out. And then she goes, oh, you know that they dropped the price, the asking. So it was just a situation where the house stayed on the market a little too long, where people just lost interest in it, and then they were forced to lower it, and then we went in with no bidding war, because there were bidding wars going on at the time. So it was kind of,
it was a weird January.
Yeah, and it wasn't a property that I was like super hungo about it, but I'm like, you know what? We're not in a bidding war. I'm gonna try to make this work. And being my own, the property was for me. I was willing to take on that extra risk, and I'm not looking back on it on those choices. So, it was good.
How much reno did it need?
We spent. So I had a contractor do the basement unit, and then I did some of the work upstairs myself. I did the demo. It was a lot more hands-on than I am now. But it cost, total reno was about 130, 135. That's actually including carrying costs too.
Was it a big project?
No, I mean your typical duplex. I think it took about 4 to 5 months by the time we had tenants in there.
Right. What can you share what the rents are?
Right now it's $1,745 for upstairs and $1,625 for downstairs. So we had a tenant changeover in the basement already. Within the first year.
Do you know what the current rents are? What it could be?
Well, so I just rented out another duplex recently.
Yeah.
At $2,100 for up and $1,850 for down. So just shy of $4,000 total.
I just signed someone for 24 up.
Yeah.
Brand new reno.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It is.
Aren't you glad you're not a tenant?
Yeah. Going back to that. Yeah.
What do you think it's worth now?
My first duplex?
Yeah. The one you bought.
It's tough to say. It's a smaller one.
The one you bought pre-pandemic and the missus told you to sell it.
Man, I'm going to be conservative and I'm going to say like $850.
That's probably really conservative.
That's really conservative.
Yeah.
Considering like we just had an appraisal at that.
So then you know it's conservative if the appraisal came in at that. And then you already refied this one then?
No, not yet.
Oh.
Thinking about it. Possibly garden suite.
Oh, you think you're gonna take the money out to build the garden suite?
I'm contemplating. I'm thinking about it. I think I got the lot to do it.
Nice.
To do the suite and the parking. So gotta dig into it a little bit more.
So you're like 615 between what you paid in your reno.
Yeah, roughly.
And it's gone up 235,000
in a year. Well, year and a half.
It's not so bad.
It's fantastic.
That's pretty crazy. Did you ever think?
No. It's in hindsight, it's like a load off my shoulders, in the sense of, how am I gonna build my financial wealth for me and my family? It's just clearer now. Sleep better at night, so to speak.
Why, you have some big bills coming up?
No. Well, unless I'm okay with debt. Like if I'm buying houses, I'm good. If you're talking that kind of bill. But no, I'm just saying working a job, a regular job, being a truck driver, yeah, you make good money. It just doesn't create wealth. It just doesn't. You know, I did years of tons of overtime, try to save. It was just like a battle you couldn't win. As our family grew, you know, we have 2 kids now, moving, the expenses just got more and more. You know, I don't save a lot of money. I invest it all. But it's just clear now. Like the future's clear. You know, just to look back at my first, like I have enough to put my kids through school, and that took 5 years. You know, it's pretty powerful what you can achieve with real estate.